Let's see. All right. So we're live. YouTube. Hello. We've been on a wrestling kick this week. Told you guys if I have Icon or I have a guest or if Icon fills up for it. Most times I'll be doing quick reviews of these. So this year these are special occasions. And I thought since we were playing Overwatch, I might show some wrestling tonight. And we watched both shows. Now, we did watch Supercard of Honor. I did watch the main event. Icon didn't. I was supposed to re-show it in Discord, and I think it just ended up... Night 2 happened. We were so tired. By the time we got to talking wrestling, honestly, there was so much wrestling going on during the weekend. There was so much to catch up on, and I didn't do a review of Bloodsport. I didn't do a review of GCW, Joey Janela, Spring Break. It's just so much going on. You can't get to all the shows. You have to cover the major ones, honestly. Even during the week, this is a reach for me. So don't expect these reviews all the time like this. When we watch them, cool, we'll review them. You know what I mean? We'll do them. It's no sweat on my ass to do them. It's just when they're around and available. Like if we don't watch it and we're playing Overwatch or whatever, and we don't get to it, this will be it. As far as me. But the main shows you'll get like Dynamite, Collision, SmackDown, Raw, usually are NXT. This week NXT because Icon over here, the co-host over here, wanted to watch it because of Trick Williams. Big Trick Williams fan.
Kind of, but over the and after stand and stand and deliver went well. Yeah.
So guys, we watched. So I'll go through the stuff for Ring of Honor. I'm gonna keep this very quick. So Ring of Honor tonight was weird. Okay, I know these are taped. What's weird about Ring of Honor, and I'm going to tell you guys this straight up about Ring of Honor. And this is the one thing about Tony Khan I don't like, and even I believe Icon feels we're kind of on the same page with this one. Why is it that Tony Khan does this whole jobber thing? Like, you have 3 matches with jobbers that we don't even know who you are, and then all of a sudden you treat a Ring of Honor original guy from like a few years ago as a jobber in a Proving Grounds match, which makes no sense to me. You're trying to build up, you have a Fallout show, right? This is after your major show, right? Wouldn't you be building up storylines and progressing storylines, not the opposite of what you're trying to do? Tonight, yesterday night, I felt with Ring of Honor, it didn't progress anything. I felt that we didn't get anywhere with Ring of Honor. I just felt like this was and I love Ring of Honor, don't get me wrong. I think when Tony Khan's on one and his booking is right, they're great. But I just feel, and this is me, and I don't know if Icon feels this way, and Icon will speak here in a second, because he's got a lot to probably say. I just felt Ring of Honor could have been much better. There was 3 matches out of that whole card that I can go, okay, I could sink my teeth into, and it was great. The Righteous, Action Andretti, and his Cassidy, Nyla Rose and Kat Von he's didn't care. Christopher Daniels and Cole Carter, yeah, I cared about that because they have a storyline going for that. With Griff Garrison, that was with Brian Pillman Jr., that was part of the Varsity Blondes. They got treated like garbage, and that's why Brian Pillman Jr. is over in NXT doing the best work of his life as Alexis King. Why do we sell the Righteous on Ring of Honor? We've been having the Righteous for months on Ring of Honor. Why are they not on AEW? They need tag teams, right? I don't mean to be critical here, right? We have the Young Bucks and FTR at Dynasty, right? FTR needs to win this because fucking if they don't, I'm just going to be like, what are we doing? FTR, you had them cut the best promo of their life and tried to salvage what happened on Wednesday. You have to have them win the titles. But the Righteous are Ring of Honor originals to an extent. You need them on AEW television. You don't have it just looks like they don't have very many tag teams, and they need to start bringing up tag teams. Because originally, AEW was based around tag teams because of the Young Bucks, but, what do I know? Anna Jay, great shit. But I want her to do it on the main roster, not on fucking Ring of Honor. You have put her down pegs. Zack Knight. Here's the thing about Saraya, Paige's brother, right? Everybody know who Paige is. Her brother's been trying to get on a major promotion for years. He's finally here. Why do you have him on Ring of Honor when you've made him look like a fucking killer? Pardon my language. What are we doing here? You have him going against basically performance-enhancing talent. But not really, though, but what are we doing? And then we had Kyle Fletcher. I love Kyle Fletcher, right? Versus Rent Titus, right? Rent Titus is a former Ring of Honor guy. They were treating him like he was a jobber. He didn't even get ring music. This is some things that Ring of Honor could fix. This is not a typical Ring of Honor that I've come to love. And I just feel like this week when it comes to AEW, they have set the narrative of the idea of they're just going to go along with the motions, and this will just be a down week because of the security footage stuff. And by the way, this security stuff, I'm going to stop talking about it. I think we put it to bed when in the middle of my game stream, Icon basically said how he felt, and it was endless of copium, and I agree with Icon. Everybody's a little upset with it. I know they're not going to let it go. I know Tony Khan in the next couple of days is not going to let it go. He's going to continue to talk about it, which will be their downfall. That's just me. But I will tell you guys, well, they're basically from my notes, basically from what I wrote in my notes or what I see is basically next week they're going to start telling new stories. So stay tuned. Pretty much this AEW show was just a throwaway show. Technically, from what I'm seeing online, this was just to presume other matches. I don't know. Icon, how do you feel? How did you feel about Ring of Honor?
It's kind of like watered down for this week after what I guess Tony Khan kind of have like I think more of a meltdown honestly with the Young Bucks, but yeah, nothing too interesting. The promos are kind of like felt like it's not there, and kind of you know to the point of not catching up on any heel versus baby face in a way, and I just don't feel like I'm enjoying it after the whole Ring of Honor and AEW, I do believe so.
Well, you enjoyed Supercard of Honor, and when you watch a big pay-per-view, right? When they do a big pay-per-view, you expect the next week, they're going to do some type of Fallout show. They're going to do a Fallout show. They're going to do what WWE did with, the post-show after, you know what I mean? After Raw goes off the air, you're thinking in your mind,
Yeah.
they're going to do new storylines, and we're going to build for the next pay-per-view that's coming up or the next major show. And they really didn't. It just looks like they just threw whatever. I would have rather them take a week off and then continue, you know what I mean? Then continue, upcoming storylines. Again, as I said before, this is things that AEW could fix. Tony Khan can fix. These are easy fixes. I've said this for a while now, and I've said this to you for a minute. Even on Wednesday, I said the same thing. Tony Khan, these are things that you could fix, homie. Like, build storylines. Build them. Trust me, if you build AEW, let me tell you this. AEW in year 1 and year 2, when they were around, they built storylines, and you had beginning and middle and end, like Dustin Rhodes and Cody. They need to get back to that. I think that would get people happy again. But right now, this Ring of Honor show, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is to everybody on my channel. I'm giving it a C++. And I'm being nice about that because they got to do better. If this is what they're going to be doing, sleepwalking. They basically were sleepwalking. This was just it felt to me like it was a recorded version of main event. I was watching a main event. Like WWE's main event. You guys all know where I'm going with that. That's that throwaway show where they put up and coming talent up on it and they put a bunch of jobbers against them. Kind of like what they're doing. They're kind of like what they were doing for a minute there with a lot of their other hokey pokey shows on Peacock. That's basically what Ring of Honor to this week was. Now, Ring of Honor is not always like that, but this week it was. It was just for the performance enhancement talent. So, we'll go through the matches. Honestly, I believe the Ring of Honor Proving Grounds match with Titus. I think, Icon, you were into that match, I believe. You were into Kyle Fletcher. I think you said, where's the face paint? I think you were saying that, if I got this correct.
I think so. Yeah. I just felt like, yeah, I think so. Like, I know, what was it last week? I see him got like not only like a face paint like designed into it. It says also like on the on like you know certain parts of the body on the upper side.
Right.
That like this week, I know it's nothing, but like it just I don't know like I don't mind him having that kind of idea just to like less of like Finn Balor in a way, which is you know I do like honestly. So, but I could understand why once in a while is good, but like I don't know, like I do
You
like it
you
last
you like
week.
it. You like it every week. You want him to be
Yeah,
ruthless aggression like what he was doing on Supercard of Honor. So Kyle Fletcher.
yeah.
So I know you're new to AEW. Kyle Fletcher is basically Don Callis' family. So the Don Callis family is a big faction. It has Will Hobbs, Kadeshita, Will Ospreay, and I believe Sammy Guevara. Or no, Sammy Guevara is not part of it. My bad. But those are the people. So it's pretty much a faction, and Don Callis runs it. And Don Callis is a big name if you remember who he is. He's a big name. He runs his mouth, all that stuff. And to me, it's another thing that I'm going to talk about, why we don't see him coming out with these people. You know, the crowd was supercharged. Can I be honest with you guys? For they kick off. So they have these super shows, right? WWE does, where they do a Raw and they do a SmackDown sometimes when they're taping, or they'll do like a main event, this, that, and the third. That's what AEW is doing right now at the moment with Ring of Honor and what is it, Collision sometimes, and it's a lot of hours of wrestling. If you're sitting back, that's 4 hours of sitting in an arena if you do that, if you do the math, because you're doing 2 hours of Ring of Honor, you're doing 2 hours of Ring of Honor, you're sitting there and watching 2 hours of Collision if they're taping it, and then you're sitting and watching an hour of Ring of Honor, of Rampage, and then you're sitting there and watching a Dynamite. So you guys got to remember, like, some of you don't realize that they're doing like 3 different shows and they're taping all of it at once in that arena. So just keep in mind that's what's happening. And you can see the crowd's really in it because they just got there probably, and they're doing that. They're doing the kickoff of Ring of Honor. Tonight, the Righteous looked great, but the way they had jobbers, it wasn't good. Zach Knight, Paige's brother, Sharia, looked good, but he should be on the main roster. I don't know if Icon agrees with that.
Um, you're right about that. It's like I don't know, like doesn't feel like nothing kind of catch out there, honestly.
So, and I will also say this too. Ring of Honor's good shit. I just wish they were separate from AEW. I wish they had a different, I would say, look and feel. Like, to me, if you're recording it before it goes live, right? You're recording it, right, for Ring of Honor television. I wish they'd just go back to what they were doing at Universal Studios and just record it there. Could you'd be better off because I want it to be different. You know, Tony Khan bought this promotion to be different. And so far, it just looks like I'm watching a Dynamite every week, just watered down. And that's unfortunate because Ring of Honor used to be the shit back in the day. And it used to be a shit about a year ago when they were doing it in Orlando. And as Icon has said here on this show, on the record, has said that this show should be your performance NXT. This should be your NXT where you build up and coming stars. You could feature them on the main roster here and there, but, you know, don't pollute it down to where it's garbage. Well, tonight, it kind of was polluted. Super bad. What are we giving the show, Icon? What are we thinking?
I would probably say like a D on average overall. Like nothing too great because of like the same, main card versus, jobbers that, no one recognizes or knows overall, mostly. And I just don't feel like I'm catching on to anything on like any of the wrestlers for this week. So
Next week, they just said it was going to get better. They just pre-taped this to pre-tape this. And I think, I think what's going on is, and this is the one thing I will say to everybody, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is an opportunity for Tony Khan to do better and fix his shows. I think they should take a step back and, during the weekend and start figuring out things because they got to figure it out quick because this Ring of Honor wasn't that great to me. And I usually go Ring of Honor's great. This week was a down week, and I'm going to tell you, I'm giving it a C+. I'm being nice. I'm being hella nice. I'm giving them a pass. Next week you pull that kind of shit, I'm giving you a D-. And it's going to be a hard D- for me, and I will go on tangents on this damn show. And I'll rip it apart because it needs to be better. You bought Ring of Honor for all this money, and you're claiming it's for the hardcore fans, but you're not booking it right. It's all over the place. And I get this week it's because it's a pay-per-view weekend, and you rented out the building, right? Okay, great. You showed off the CM Punk shit. Okay, great. Okay, so it's going to be a down week. So are you telling me Ring of Honor is going to be down, and then Collision's going to be a down week, and Rampage is going to be weak? To me, I just want to see all their shows succeed. Not. So anyway, we'll be back here in a second with a TNA review, and I'm going to tell you TNA was so much better. I was really happy with TNA, honestly. TNA, I will just start watching it every week because that shit was entertaining. I will tell you guys that from the minute go was very entertaining. And yes, I know their production value is not that great, but it was a hell of a lot better than a Ring of Honor. It was hella better than the Dynamite. This week, actually, TNA put a smile on my face. It's smile of the week for me. Because, as Booker T says, Shaq, quack, quack, ducky of the week. That's what TNA was for me. Hands down.
I might have to agree with that one, honestly.
But we'll get into it here. I'm going to end this, and then we'll get right into it. So, boom.